Marvel Studios has probably been getting awfully desperate lately because of these early projections coming out regarding the opening weekend for their latest movie, The Marvels. I mean, according to Box Office Pro, it says it's only going to make around $50 to $75 million domestically during that opening weekend. Of course, these are just long range projections. I mean, it could be lower, it could even be significantly higher, but assuming it's on the low end of this, I mean, this would put it as the worst opening weekend for any MCU movie to date. It's even behind 2008's Hulk, which currently holds the record for the lowest grossing opening weekend for any MCU movie at 55 million. And this was back in 2008, not adjusted for inflation, but let's just ignore the inflation aspect of it for now and just focus on the numbers. I mean, this would still be worse than a movie that was released like over a decade ago. But even on the high end, $75 million, I mean, that would still put it, 28th in the entire MCU as far as domestic openings, just behind Black Widow, which was released during the whole COVID fiasco. And Black Widow was also simultaneously released on Disney Plus. So, I mean, that's not a good sign for the Marvels, especially when you consider, at least according to this article from The Direct, it's the fourth most expensive MCU movie to date. I mean, just behind Infinity War, Age of Ultron, and Endgame. So things aren't looking too good for it. And then we got this information coming out where there's a review embargo until basically the release of the movie. Now, ordinarily, when there's a big movie like this, the studios want critics to talk about it and kind of build up hype around it. But if the movie is bad, they kind of want to keep a lid on critics because they don't want to basically, like, you don't want to go into a movie like leading up the week leading up to it with hearing constant news about how bad it is. I mean, if the studio had confidence in the movie, that'd be like, I don't know, having like critics put out their reviews probably right now. I mean, notably, last summer we saw like reviews coming out for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny like a month in advance, and that was the studio probably thinking that it's going to be good, and then it was just getting savaged by critics. So I mean, I'm pretty sure they didn't expect that, but with this one, they seem to be keeping a lid on things because they don't want word getting out about anything on this movie. And this article does, I will give them some credit, even though they're coming from the perspective of a Marvel stan, because they're saying anyone noticing things like low projections, high budgets or whatever I mean, to me, that just suggests that this movie's not going to do good, but apparently it's a conspiracy to notice those basic patterns. But I will give them some credit because they're when talking about the review embargoes, they say there's a lot of reasons why that they would do that. I mean, you have to really dig down in here, but it says the reasonable explanation is that Marvel is keeping a lid on the Marvels to avoid spoilers, as it did with Doctor Strange Mom and Spider-Man No Way Home. And yeah, because in both those movies there was notably surprise cameos. Well, it was spoiled for No Way Home. I don't believe it was. I think there was spoilers for Doctor Strange Mom as well. But yeah, I mean, I can understand wanting to do that to try to keep a lid on certain big spoilers. So the question would be, what spoilers are they trying to avoid? Like, what cameos are they trying to avoid getting leaked? And I think we have an answer for that. And a lot of people are pointing out that maybe it's Kelsey Grammer reprising his role as Beast in this movie, and that's what they're trying to keep a lid on. But this article from Coming Soon kind of goes in on a little bit. I mean, a lot of this comes from a scooper, Daniel RPK, or Daniel Richmond, who tweeted the following: someone who was the perfect casting for a certain role and never got his chance to do justice with it because they wasted him on a crappy movie is coming back. That's all I'm going to say. And with that information and some other information that we got from like Grace Randolph and Can We Get Some Toast, a lot of people were pointing out like, oh, this is probably Kelsey Grammer who's playing Beast. And that would kind of make sense because this article does point out Beast joined Sword and the comics and could be a part of Sword and Saber. And that's the organizations that are kind of prominent within this phase of the MCU. So yeah, maybe that's the case. And also with the Fox acquisition from by Disney, they've been trying to merge the Fox X-Men with the current MCU. I mean, we've seen several efforts of that. I mean, most notably Patrick Stewart was playing Charles Xavier in Doctor Strange. So they're bringing Hugh Jackman back in Deadpool 3, which is also supposed to be this movie supposedly setting up Deadpool 3 or sort of thing. So I could see them actually bringing back Kelsey Grammer for this type of thing. Bounding in the comics talks about it. So I mean, yeah, this is can we get some toast? The rumor or the tweet that he made regarding this. It's true, everything's starting to connect, and this is what he puts out. Because like, yeah, a lot of people are saying that the Marvels is setting up Deadpool 3, and that's going to lead to Secret Wars. But yeah, according to the Marvel Studios spoiler subreddit, they say during a post-credit scene, Monica Rambeau is flung across space and time and ends up in home universe for Fox's X-Men's, blacking out upon completing her trip across the multiverse. Monica eventually awakens to find herself safely within the X-Mansion's underground facilities and in the care of both Grammer's Beast and local incarnation of her mother Maria, presumably portrayed once again by Lashana Lynch. It is and claimed that following a brief recollection of her current predicament, Beast suggests bringing the situation to attention of Charles Xavier, though the scene concludes before the mutant leader appears on screen. So, I mean, at least that's apparently the spoiler. I mean, if this is the reason that they're having such a late review embargo, then okay, I can buy that. I mean, if they don't want this getting out. But I do find it hard to believe that they're going to that much effort. I mean, I think the more likely scenario is they just know that this is going to be a bad movie and they don't want word getting out. I mean, and these spoilers that are kind of being leaked, I mean, I think they're trying to almost drum up some attention. I mean, that's the thing about these leaks. I mean, they're done intentionally by the studio to try to get some buzz circulating around the movie, and I don't think that's going to be enough to actually save it. I mean, even if Kelsey Grammer is in the movie more prominently, I don't think people are going to care. I mean, if anything, it's just something that we've already seen before. It's like, okay, they're just tying the MCU to the Fox X-Men universe because we know they've done that. I mean, they've done it already. So, I mean, this isn't really that big of a deal at this stage of the game. And I think this does come across as desperate on their part of trying to get people interested in the movie that's more than likely gonna flop. But let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below. And if you like this video, make sure you click that like button, share the video, and subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date with the latest news. Thank you.